Hello, hello. Today is May 2nd, uh, Tuesday. It's Tuesday today. Crazy day. These are crazy times. The Fed is going to announce its decision tomorrow. FOMC meeting is coming to a closure at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And this market is going to go up or down, obviously, right? That's simple to say, but look at the charts here for a minute. Because of the anticipation of what the Fed is going to do, these are very volatile times. Usually it happens when the market has such a change, drastic changes in interest rates. So we went up yesterday from April 27th. We were at a low on the diamonds. We're looking at the diamonds here. It's Dow Jones at 332. We went all the way up to 342 in one day, pretty much, right? It just happened on April 27th, 28th, 2 days. We came back down in 2 days, one day technically, because yesterday we kind of started falling. That is very volatile. That's, 10 points each way. Same thing with the SPY. We went all the way from 404 to 417, all the way back down to 408. 410 is a very serious area, right? Same thing with the Qs, with the NASDAQ 100. So what's happening here is people are not sure what the Fed is going to do. So let's talk about what the Fed could do and how it's going to impact our stock market and the volatility. So the Fed, Wall Street is actually, I have to show this to you I want to show it to you on a daily graph. So you kind of get the idea of what we're talking about. So if we're looking at a daily graph, right? Here we are on the Dow Jones from September. We are on the highs of the band, right? That's the high of the band. We're on the high end. So the stock market is pricing, and all this happened because of tech, right? The big companies are going up. The stock market is pricing the fact that the Fed is going to raise the rates by 25 points. Okay, everyone's got that. But at the same time, they think that the Fed is going to pause. Why? It's actually telling the Fed, if you're not going to pause, this market's going to, we're pricing in that you're going to pause. How are they pricing that in? By the fact that we see that the stock market is up, even though there is talks of recession, we are up. Same thing on the S&P, same thing on the Qs. The crazy thing is that the banking industry today, the KRE, fell. And let me change the screen for you for a minute. And I've been talking to you guys before I move on to the KRE about the high end of the band. Whenever you're in a band, high and low, you always want to try to short near the high and buy near the support. Short near resistance, buy support. That's the least amount of risk you have, right? These are the best places to take a short. Because if the Fed says to the market, who cares what you think? I don't care if you priced in that I'm going to stop raising rates and I'm going to pivot at 5%. I need to raise rates even more in order to get inflation down, right? In that sense, the stock market should come down. Therefore, good bets on this market, it would be to actually take some puts. But if you believe the Fed is going to stop raising rates, then the bulls are going to win and the stock market should go up. In such volatile times, I would actually look and maybe even try for a straddle on a call and a put, because I believe that either way, if the Fed is going to stop, there's going to be serious upside movement. If the Fed is not going to stop, there's going to be serious downside movement. So if you believe that there's going to be a high volatile serious move, you could probably bet on both sides and still make money, right? On the call or the put, more than you would lose on the call or the put that you're wrong with. All right, let's move on. I personally believe that the stock market's going to go down. This is a bit high, but hey, who am I? Everyone else seems to think the market's going up. All right, what I do know is that I go with the trend, and we're going to move to the banking sector, right? Let's talk about the banking sector for a second. So I was a bit disappointed because I had a lot of options that I took from March 17th and 20th. And as I've been pointing it to you guys in my video, here's a KRE. This was March 14th, 41.90 was the low we had, right? We played from 48 to 41, then we narrowed it to 45.50, 43.50, and so on and so on. My options, most of them expired. Kind of lost money in some of them, made money a little bit of them. Lo and behold, finally, today, it crashed again, right? After FRC gets bought out by JP Morgan, we get the crash. Down 7% almost. We were down 7% at one point. So the trend is down. You want to go with the trend. Obviously, the trend is your friend. We are shorting these stocks. We're looking to short them. But you also have to notice how low these stocks are going. Okay, you have to look at their PEs and see, because some of them might get so cheap that they're actually a buy. For instance, I actually had wall puts, which I lost money on, but then I took puts again because like it went to $42, which is crazy, right? Let's look at that for a minute. So don't forget, before I leave the screen, your resistance right now is 41.90 and 41.28. And the low that we had yesterday, which is 40.68. These are three resistance points. We should not go above them, okay? That's the areas you want to look to get into the shorts on the KRE, unless everything changes tomorrow. It could happen. Don't come crying to me if you didn't understand how the news is being translated. You got to figure out how the Fed is going with this rate cuts, with the rate raise. All right, so we're going to move on to Wall for a minute. All right, let's look at Wall for a second. So here we are with Wall. This stock went down from 70 all the way down to $8. That's a serious move. Jumped back all the way up, I remember, to like 37, all the way down to 27. That was like the range, more or less. And that's kind of where I took my shorts. The problem is I took the options a little too short, right? And they expired. Nothing happened. It didn't go back down. I didn't make any money. I actually lost money on these puts. But after they announced their earnings, boom, they jumped back all the way up to $42. What I did notice is what I'm teaching you guys all the time. Resistance is the areas to sell, right? And support are the areas to buy. And this is a downtrend. You're looking to short. What was the high here? The high here was 42.53. And what was the high here? 41.41. So we almost reached resistance. We didn't even reach resistance, which shows you that resistance is still there. Therefore, you could look to get into the stock again, especially the fact that the stock was $8, right? Not long ago. I'm assuming the multiple on $8, because the multiple now yesterday was 4. Well, that's the multiple now, I'm assuming $4. Okay, so the multiple here was what? Oh, below 1, that's for sure. So obviously, if the multiples are way cheap, you could look to maybe buy a stock if it doesn't have a run on the bank, right? If depositors are not withdrawing their money like like I'm assuming they did with FRC, SVB. So that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking to actually short these names. I did find a list. I did a small stock screener research on Yahoo Finance that you could see. Okay, pretty simple. There you could do this bunch of stocks which are trading at 20 multiples. Why did I do this? Because as I'm looking at the list of banks that I got going on here, right? EWBC is a stock that I had puts on. You know, I didn't make money on, I actually lost, but the stock went all the way down to 34 and jumped back up, right? kind of did nothing for 2 months. That was my problem. Now it started falling again. So obviously I'm looking at it again. I just needed to go up a little bit because I don't like to sell the bottoms. I like to sell tops, right? Okay. But look at these multiples. They're already trading at 5 PE, right? PNC trading at 8 PE, 9.935, Pac West. NYCB still up somehow. See, small PEs. Look at that, 4.5. So you have to actually pay attention to this, all right, to these things, and make sure you know what you're shorting. Don't short something that's already down a lot. Try to find things that are actually have some room and potential to fall, or you need some fundamental news. You know, so it's either that or you're looking at the technical analysis. Where are the cues? They're sitting on the high of the band. Perfect place for a short. So it's either technical or fundamental. Remember that. Technical or fundamental, those are your two reasons to short. So if the Fed is going to pause, we believe that we're going to see the stock market go up. If the Fed is going to continue raising rates, this stock market should come down, okay? 7% that we saw in the banking industry today, I expect something like that or more. So let's see how that plays out. What else did I have here today? There's a whole bunch of stocks, obviously, going back and forth. We'll leave it at that. We're just going to talk about this for now, and we'll reconvene about other different stocks some other time. Keep that in mind. One other interesting thing I had today was the Hindenburg downgraded IEP, right? If we really think about this for a second, they shorted the stock, IEP, right? Then they're telling everybody that they shorted it, that they found, a Ponzi scheme or whatever that ICANN Enterprises is running, whatever. Isn't that like not allowed? Shouldn't that be disallowed to actually short something and then put the news out on the street? I don't know. Either way, I looked at the last 3 companies that they did this to, and all 3 of them went down. So I would be looking to maybe see if this thing goes back up somewhere around to whatever, and try and short it. 45 would have been a nice area to catch it short today, but I didn't catch it. So we'll see. Catching it short for long term, okay? That's like probably with your puts, you could probably look at that 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road. Because if this economy is going to suffer, that's when it's going to suffer in the second and third quarter earnings. All right, catch you tomorrow. I'm hopefully going to show you how to trade a live report tomorrow. I'll record it live. You guys can see it with all that volatility, how to trade the SPYs and the diamonds. Have a great day. Cheers.